accounts. So when those money are accounts, they will come to the coffers of the. Here you could see the budget. Some of the expenses was cut. Some of the expenses was cut, or in the name to break down costs.
That was the honorable member of the 16th General Assembly of UNIMAC IG, and earlier were some students speaking on the approved financial budget with a deficit.
Still on campus related, the little to no presence of practical activities in the curriculum of students, especially the senior high schools and the tertiary schools, is one of the most talked about social issues of the country. Some students of the University of Media, Arts and Communication have expressed opinions on the inadequate practical equipment in their area of expertise. Speaking to some students of the institute, they shared their opinion on the issue.
This kind of instrumental things that we use in our practical, like for instance, we being a journalism school, we don't have cameras. Last semester, for instance, we studied this photo J, but we are not having good cameras. We rather use our phones. It's really sad. Like, it's really sad. In the case study of UNIMAC IJ, the whole journalism school, we not having any practicals. The theories are too much. They are really too much. The practical aspect of this school is very bad, and it really have a bad effect on us. When you go to the radio stations and you are being asked to perform or do something, you find it difficult because you've not have any practicals on it.
Those were opinions of some students in the institute you heard.
Away from that, the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, launched Vision 2057 at the University of Ghana City Conference Center on the 28th of May 2024. The launch, which was themed Vision 2057, Long-Term National Development Perspective Framework, is a blueprint rolled out for national development to be achieved by 2057. The framework focuses on the social, economic, environmental, industrial, and government development. Addressing the public was the chairman of NDPC, Professor Georgian Boafo, who reviewed the reason for the set vision.
The National Development Perspective Framework provides a roadmap for achieving our collective aspirations, setting forth integrated socio-economic development goals and targets to be realized by the time Ghana celebrates its centenary in 2057. It provides a foundation on which future medium-term development plans will be built, and there will be several of them 4-year development plans over the period, ensuring continuity and alignment with our long-term aspirations. The National Development Planning Commission has been very much concerned, just as most Ghanaians, about why long-term development plans have not withstood the test of time. The Commission has come to the conclusion that rigid plans prescribing projects, plans and actions will not survive under the current political dispensation. A dispensation that requires parties to subject themselves to the electorates based on their manifestos, which tell voters that these are the programs, these are the projects, and these are the development actions that they intend to implement when given power.
The Director General for NDPC, Dr. Kojo Esiem Mensah Abrampa, also revealed the initiative is set to wipe out the presence of limited TVET and STEM trainings in Ghana.
Discussions on this area of social dimension had to do with the limited emphasis on TVET and also science, technology, and education. And one of the things also clear is the mismatch between our own training, especially at the tertiary level, and what is being demanded by our industry. We give so many examples of that. If you look at the resources around us and what the private sector is demanding, and then also what we are providing by way of output from our education system, quite sometimes there's been a mismatch. If you look at the proportion of the need, it is more tilted towards the STEM. But if you turn it around, we are also training a lot of people in the liberals. And currently, the proportion is just around 20 to 60 to 40 by 2030, and then by the end of the term of the 2056 to turn it to 80-20. So 80 to be able to make use of the resources around us and be able to tap into it.
The youth representative of Ghana also assured the readiness to help attain these goals.
The agenda to set Ghana on a path to sustainable development by adopting a national development vision and plan tied to the nation's centenary year post-independence is a major step towards bringing the future of Ghana. The long-term national development perspective framework is a shared vision for Ghana's development, though it may not be the blueprint, but it is certainly the key to shepherding the political actors and public in their actions, policies, and programs for Ghana's socio-economic emancipation. Having to represent the 38% of Ghana's youth population is one we do not take lightly. Towards the attainment of Ghana's development goals by 2057, we, the 38% of the present population, are arguably the largest stakeholders in this agenda. So it is more about us, for us, and therefore must be done with us.
Some students in attendance shared their view on the importance of the vision to Ghana's development.
One of the key advantages is that it is going to help us build a prosperous, inclusive, and a resilient economy, so that we can be able to overcome the obstacles we are facing in this country.
So from the 2057 plan, we learned that there will be an improvement in the economics of Ghana as a whole and the general well-being of the entire society. So this 2057 plan is inclusive in all aspects to define how things will be regulated in the country 33 years from now. So I think it's of instrumental benefit to everybody.
Those were some views of students on the importance of the vision on Ghana's development, and earlier were the youth representatives of Ghana, Director General for NDPC, Dr. Kojo Esiem Mensah Abrampa, and Chairman of the NDPC, Professor George Jan Boafo, you heard.
In a related story, Paramount Chief of the Asante Asoko and Chairman Committee of Experts of the 1992 Constitution, Nana Susubibi Kwabia Asante, opined on the current presidency vision to break the AIDS. Speaking at the launch of Vision 2057, he talked on a multi-party approach to development in the political party system. In reference to the 1992 Constitution, he made his stance listen.
Programs at all levels and in all regions of Ghana. The President may be able to present this program in the first year. This leaves him 3 years to complete his program. However, it is reasonable to assume that such a program, at the very least, has a long-term component transcending his or her stipulated term of 4 years. And here I must say, with all due respect to our politicians, that you have to surmount the 4 before you break the 8. Now to turn to our political system. The Constitution abolishes the one-party state. Article 3 specifically prohibits the power of Parliament to enact law to establish a one-party state. This is reinforced by Article 55(1), which guarantees the right to form political parties. These constitutional provisions form the basis of our multi-party system of government.
That was the Paramount Chief of the Asante Asoko and Chairman Committee of Experts of the 1992 Committee of Experts in the 1992 Constitution, Nana Susubibi Kwabia Asante, who expressed his opinion on the current presidency vision to break the 8.
Away from that, there are calls for the sitting Supreme Court judge to be impeached in the trial of Dr. Kesel Atuforsen, if his role in the raging witness tampering case is established. It comes after one of the accused persons on the trial alleged in the open court an attempt by Attorney General to get him to incriminate the minority leader. This meeting was held at the residence of the yet-to-be-named Supreme Court Director of Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansah, who says the unnamed Supreme Court judge at the center of the case must be removed from the office he instigated the meeting.
The meeting took place at the house of the retired Supreme Court judge.
Right.
The Chief Justice, to the ball rolling. The president has the right to the Chief Justice, but let us wait until we know who this Supreme Court judge is. Not like just like you called me a professor. I'm not a professor. So maybe a magistrate who is being referred to as taking justice of the Supreme Court. When we get to that, like we know how to process.
Well, there are heightened calls for some special probe into the conduct of Attorney General Godfrey Adame in the trial of the minority leader, Dr. Atufolsen, and others, according to the private legal practitioner, Samson Labi Ayinini, stating the Attorney General knew nothing about the meeting. Businessman Richard Jakba is not entirely accurate. Here is more.
I am informed, suggests that what the EG's spokesperson told MFA is a big lie. That the claim of the involvement of a judge directly and the AG being unaware, that's what I am reliably informed, and have been pointed to something which shows that that claim potentially in the course of events will fall flat as a lie.
That was the private legal practitioner, Samson Labi Ayenini, and earlier was former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansah Asare, you heard. You are still listening to the 1800 News Bulletin on Radio GIJ 97.7 MHz. We will go for a short breather. We'll be back with more stories.
For over 5 decades, we have trained
Listen to Radio GIJ 97.7MHz, the learning curve.
Welcome back from the breather. Up next is business news, and we have Akimbi Emanuela.
And in business, the African Development Bank is expressing concern that the debt resolution mechanism for Ghana and other debt-distressed African countries has been slow. The Continental Bank argues that although the G20 framework on debt resolution has been helpful in imitating the crisis by harmonizing official creditors and other commercial lenders, the debt retraction in estimation of the bank has been a difficult process. Addressing the reporters at the 59th AFDB annual meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, President of African Development Bank Group, Dr. Kiwumi Adesina, called for a reform.
Because it took forever to negotiate anything. And so we are pleased that there is a G20 common framework, which I strongly support, which the African Development Bank strongly support, the G20 common framework. It's helping to bring creditors that are the private creditors with the official creditors together to negotiate on comparability terms. What are the terms of the debt restructuring that's going to be done? Now, I understand it takes it's a very difficult process because you have Paris Club members, you have non-Paris Club members, and you have commercial debtors, and their needs are quite different from those of official creditors. It's helped with Chad, helped with Zambia, it's helped with Ghana, and it's working also on Ethiopia, putting together the various credit committees. That said, that process, everybody agrees, is too slow. You know, if you're going to, if you have somebody that is bleeding and you want to save their life, stop the bleeding fast. That's by the time that you actually do it, they may be dead.
And that was the President for Africa Development Bank Group, Dr. Kiwumi Adesina, you heard. And that's all for business with me, Emanuela Akimbi. And up next will be sports with Gabriel Aklu.
I'm gonna kill her.
And in the world of sport, Chelsea has agreed to appoint Enzo Maresca as new head coach. Understanding has been finalized and the agreement is now done on contract, which is valid until June 2029, which is a 5-year deal. It will also include an option to extend until June 2030. And that was it for sports with me, Gabriel Jackson Oklu. Coming up your way with entertainment news is Nakai.
In entertainment, Telecel Ghana Music Awards pre-party is set to happen on Friday, May 31st, 2024. Simply Irresistible, in partnership with Soho, is organizing a pre-party for the 25th Telecel Ghana Music Awards on the said day at the Marina Mall at 7 p.m. through to 4 p.m. This is to usher fans into the main awards night on Saturday, 1st June. The event is packed as it has a line of A-list DJs such as DJ Solo, DJ Phantom, and some great others to grace the occasion. And that's all for entertainment story with me, Nakai.
International front. Tornadoes and devastating thunderstorms have left nearly 300,000 residents across 7 states without power as of Monday night. Over the weekend, huge storms killed at least 23 people and left a path of destruction across the central U.S. Forecasters said the greatest weather risk has shifted east covering a broad sweep of the country from Alabama to New York. More thunderstorms, damaging wind gusts, hail and flash flooding are expected. To our last story. Chaos descends on a Nigerian town at sundown, causing most people to flee from the town Kachi. According to a man from Kachi, when the invaders came to town firing gunshots, he rode on his motorbike into the town, leaving his family behind. His sister-in-law with his wife tried to escape when they were captured, but the wife managed to escape. On the other hand, his parents and children hid among their goats in the goat house, preventing the invaders from capturing them. The local officials suspect the gunmen have to come from the Islamic militant group Boko Haram because they carried jihadist flag during Friday's attack. It is thought that 10 people have died and at least 160 kidnapped. From another residence, the armed men returned to Kachi and kidnapped more people. And that's all for international stories with me, Claire Asewe Kaba.
This is how we pop the 1800 News Bulletin on Radio GIJ 97.7 MHz. A recap of our headlines. Defendant General of UNIMAC's General Assembly warns Women Commissioner of possible police questioning. Also, UNIMAC IJ's Mess Communicator 2023 partners with Flow to distribute free sanitary pads. And in sports, Chelsea agrees to appoint Enzo Maresca as new head coach. In entertainment, Shatawale expresses his interest in politics in the coming years. And on the entertainment front, thousands of Americans without power due to severe weather conditions. Once again, I am Daniel Afari, and this was how we did the 1800 News Bulletin. Get out. This is not